Could the Denver Broncos poach a division rival running back in free agency? What's up, guys? Welcome to Denver Broncos Syndicate, part of the Sports Syndicate family of channels where we are dedicated to bringing you content about our favorite sports teams. I am your host, Gage Madrid. Before we jump in, guys, if you could just do me a big favor and smash the like button on this video, as well as subscribe and ring the bell, I would really appreciate it. Those are two free and easy ways that you can help support the channel. It helps tell YouTube to push us out to fellow members of Broncos country just like you and me. So after he officially signed his contract with the Denver Broncos and officially had his opening introductory press conference, new Broncos head coach Sean Payton has headed out to Arizona to fulfill his media obligations for Fox ahead of Super Bowl 57. Those obligations included an appearance on the Up and Adams podcast hosted by Kay Adams on FanDuel TV. He was joined alongside Raiders running back Josh Jacobs, who is scheduled to be a free agent, along with Saints running back Mark Ingram, who Payton of course coached for several years down there in New Orleans. On the podcast, Payton spoke really highly of Josh Jacobs. I'll just let you guys take a listen to this.
Bring in our next guest. Go for it.
Man, I'd like to introduce y'all a special guest on the show today. The Bama boy himself, the Mr. Russian title champion himself, Josh Jacobs. About to get that bag, a.k.a. duffel bag boy, because they're going to have to pay my dog. You feel me?
For so.
Yes, sir.
Isn't he a free agent?
Yeah, he's free.
Okay, so what are you looking at? I mean, think about it. Led the league in rushing.
He was outstanding.
Incredible. Talk about it.
Well,
take
look,
a division rival and let's go.
when you watch the film, I would say this, and we saw a lot of games in that green room. All you do is watch football on Fox Sundays. And I was lucky enough to be part of the AP voting this year. And so he definitely was, number one, we voted him as not Pro Bowl, all pro, right? That's got a little something.
That's got weight to it.
That's just one team.
Yeah.
Right. He was outstanding this year. He was outstanding, healthy, protections, but downhill physical runner. For a team that wasn't necessarily always having success, he was always consistently playing well. And so I'm glad he's a free agent. I encourage everyone to look at him, get him out of the West. Maybe we look at him.
Will you look good in orange? I think
yes, indeed.
You and Javonte backfield 1-2. You love a mixed backfield. You love a little 1-2.
I like a mixed backfield.
Hey, he love him.
And you get to play longer.
Gotta be careful there, coach. Gotta make sure we're not teetering on tampering right there. Gotta make sure we're not actively recruiting. But in all seriousness, though, guys, it definitely seems like Sean Payton is smitten over Josh Jacobs. And who could blame him? Josh Jacobs has been one of the NFL's best running backs over the past couple of years. The Raiders stupidly declined his fifth-year option when their new regime came in under GM Dave Ziegler and new head coach, Josh McDaniels. Sorry, four-letter word here in Broncos country. But anyway, once his fifth-year option was declined, Jacobs only went out and led the NFL in rushing last season. And Sean Payton, much like the rest of the NFL, has been highly impressed with his performance. In particular, Josh Jacobs has been known as the Bronco Killer. Last season, in 2 games against the Broncos, he totaled 335 yards for scrimmage, along with 2 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs is a dynamic player in both the running game and in the pass game. He offers a lot in pass protection, and he would be a really, really valuable fit for the Denver Broncos, in my opinion. Now, the Raiders also would be really stupid to let him out of the building, but it really does seem like it's trending in that direction. The Raiders are kind of cleaning house, and they're bringing in their own guys, and they're removing pretty much all the guys from the old regime. It's been rumored that guys like Hunter Renfrow are potentially on the trading block, and then of course Derek Carr is on his way out of the building there. So it's definitely interesting to see what Hurricane Josh is doing over there in Las Vegas, but it would be to our benefit if Josh Jacobs hit free agency, because the Denver Broncos definitely are going to look to upgrade their running back room this offseason, both in free agency and in the draft. Although we do have a running back in Javonte Williams who, when healthy, can be a bell cow back, he is coming off of a multi-ligament knee injury, and although I don't like being the bearer of bad news, the scientific data does not bode well for running backs who are coming off multi-ligament knee injuries in their first year back. Javonte Williams could have a bit of a slow return from his injury, and he might struggle a little bit out the gate. So the Broncos may need to go out and get a Batman to Javonte Williams' Robin, just in case he has some issues coming back from this injury. Josh Jacobs would be an absolutely fantastic guy to look at. He is a dynamic player, like I mentioned earlier. He has killed the Broncos, and last season he emerged as the NFL's best rusher. Although the Broncos may have some reservations about paying top running back money, Josh Jacobs would certainly be a guy I would be interested in paying that kind of money to. Another guy that I would look at is Tony Pollard from the Dallas Cowboys, but unfortunately, much like Javonte Williams, Pollard is coming off of an injury of his own that he suffered in the wild card loss to the 49ers. But at the end of the day, the Broncos have sworn that they are going to be aggressive in free agency, so I would not be surprised if they made a splash move at running back. George Payton, I know, likes running backs. Sean Payton, the running back, is a critical position in his offense. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos went out and tried to add multiple resources at that position to go alongside Javonte Williams. Because even if Javonte comes back healthy next year, you can never have too many running backs. Because if one of those guys goes down, then you can have guys step up. Latavius Murray was a guy who stepped up for the Broncos last season, and he's someone who played for Sean Payton in New Orleans. So that's another guy that I would not be surprised if the Broncos brought back Latavius Murray next season. But I'm curious, guys, how would you feel if the Broncos were able to successfully poach Josh Jacobs from the Raiders? Drop those comments down below. I would love to hear from you. Be sure to leave a like on this video as well as subscribe and ring the bell so these videos appear in your notification feed. And while you're at it, be sure to follow me on Twitter at Gage Madrid NFL for even more Broncos coverage. And for now, this has been another episode of Denver Broncos Syndicate. I am your host, Gage Madrid, saying peace out.